Oats. Oats. Okay. So, none of you are getting any more context to this video than is necessary. And that's gonna be totally fine. I'm just gonna talk about oats for 10 minutes because I feel like it, because I love oats so much. Oats are old as fuck, dude. They're so old. Holy shit. We've been farming oats for so long. Oats are technically they're an ancient grain. You see ancient grains in like Costco or any grocery market, and you're like, whoa, what are those? The word ancient has such a weight to it, and I want to buy this thing immediately. Or I'm immediately intrigued by the word ancient. No, wrong. Stupid. They just mean like things like barley and wheat. We've been farming these things since like before Christ was born. So that technically means that Christ must have eaten things like oats and barley and wheat, which are also ancient grains, you know? So really, answer for that, Catholics. I think you have a lot to answer for. Anyway, I'm gonna get off how old oats are, and let's get into this, boys. I'm gonna open up another IPA. You hear that shit? Yeah. It's time to talk about oats. That's what we're doing. So I want to, and oh, that smells fruity. I want there's some like wiped on my hand, sprayed everywhere, and you can clean it up later. Anyway, so first off, we gotta talk about oats and the way they're processed. So oats come from, they're a cereal grain, so they're grown from a grass crop, and they're like buds on the tips of this grass, right? And depending on how they're processed, you can have them in any kind of different ways. You can have them as groats, which stands for obviously geriatric oats, because they're the older kinds of oats, not the new spunky kind of oats that all the Zoomers are eating. No, you can eat geriatric oats, groats, otherwise. And groats are just like the endosperm, the bran, and the germ. I got the order mixed up. The germ, endosperm, and the germ, endosperm, and bran that characterize any kind of grain. And it's just like that not processed variety. So you can eat oat groats as is, but they take a long ass time to cook, and that's kind of stinky. No one wants to do that. No one has the time on their Monday morning before they get to the 9 to 5 to cook groats. So you can cook steel cut oats, and steel cut oats are basically just groats but chopped into finer bits, and they take a bit longer to cook, like half an hour if you care about quality. But if you do, they're chef's kiss, beautiful, love of my life. Chef's steel cut oats, amazing, and they're chewy and all things good, and they have a low ass glycemic index, which we'll get to later. And that's just the way things gotta be. And then you got rolled oats, which are the things that I eat the most because I'm a poor ass student. I'm gonna take a swig. Yeah, that's the way things are meant to be. Oh, God, IPAs suck. But you got rolled oats, which are just groats, but they're rolled out and they're steamed and they're dried so that they have a good old stable shelf life, and they can last on the grocery store aisles longer, and you can buy them and not feel bad about leaving them in your pantry for a year and then cooking them, because they'll still be fine. They'll still be good oats. And then you got instant oats, which are like rolled oats but dried even further so that they cook even faster, because they'll absorb more water in the cooking process and they'll just get mushier faster. And then you got Scottish oats, but I don't really respect or acknowledge the Scots as a nation, so we're gonna skip over that because I don't really care too much. Now, all right, oats. I gotta preface this because I need to build my case for the argument. I need to build my case for why you should eat oats more often, like I do. Oats are fucking rad. They have so much cool health shit going on. You have no idea how good they are for you. And I gotta say this right away. Oats, first off, you'll see it on every single like advertisement for Quaker oats. They're good for your heart health. Why are they good for your heart health? They lower your low density lipoproteins, which is a kind of cholesterol. That's the bad kind of cholesterol. You have low density, I can't even speak. You have low density lipoproteins and you have high density lipoproteins. I'm not quite sure what the difference is, but I know that LDLs are bad and HPLs are fine. So, or HDLs. You want to get rid of the LDLs, which, guess what? Oats, they got your back, honey. They can do that just fine for you. And they also regulate your blood sugar pretty well because they have a low glycemic index. More on that later. And generally, they're good for heart health, which I've already mentioned, but they're also good for maintaining type 2 diabetes. More on that later too. This is what we call an authorship foreshadowing. Wow. Incredible. It's also good for weight loss, which we'll explain why for reasons later. Side note, I hate when like dietitians say like, oh, beans are great for weight loss, and then that's just like the end of the sentence and they don't elaborate or anything. They just kind of keep going with like what minerals they have. It's like, why? If I know why beans are good for weight loss, then I'll probably remember it better, but you're not gonna elaborate. I gotta know some kind of mechanism. Otherwise, it's not gonna make any sense. Anyway, so cool thing about oats is that they have this cool thing called beta-glucan, and beta-glucan is a fiber that's almost asterisk exclusive to oats. Barley and some kinds of mushrooms also have beta-glucan, but oats are like the easiest kind of source for beta-glucan. And beta-glucan's fucking rad. Beta-glucan is an appetite suppressant, and which means that slows digestion. So if you have beta-glucan in your system, you're gonna feel full faster, you're not gonna want to eat sooner, you're gonna be satisfied with your oat-based breakfast, right? And also, it's a soluble fiber, which means that it's gonna help your gut biome. What the hell is a soluble fiber? What the hell is an insoluble fiber? I can't even speak. A soluble versus an insoluble fiber is soluble means that it will be broken down by water and it'll help your gut biome, it will help your blood sugar regulation, it'll do all kinds of cool things. Insoluble basically means that it will help your stool be passed by easier in your digestive tract. You'll pass stool easier. That's kind of just it. That's the way that the kids identify with insoluble fibers. And how it does that is it basically just like it captures water better, like a net for water, like a microscopic net, and it holds things in the stool easier so that it can, pass easier and it's like more fluid and all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, other than that, beta-glucan, it lowers LDL, specifically because from whatever the hell mechanism, LDL helps to lower, LDL lowers, goddamn, that's not right. LDL promotes the secretion of cholesterol-rich bile, which will break LDLs down, because as we all know from our organic chemistry classes, like dissolves like. Cool. Anyway, moving on. Oats are also a good source of thiamine, which, for all the uneducated out there, including me, which I just learned 2 hours ago, is actually vitamin B1. What the hell does vitamin B1 do? Vitamin B1 is necessary for a ton of basic cell functions, so that's pretty important. If you take the weight of that sentence seriously, you'll understand that, oh man, I better get my vitamin B1 down in my gullet, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to live too well. Magnesium? It's got a lot of magnesium. Magnesium is a key component in electrical conduction, meaning it's great for heart contractions and general muscle contractions, and for you neuroscience nerds out there, it's also a huge component in NMDA receptors, which is good for learning plasticity and memory and all that kind of cool stuff. So you better eat your oats, otherwise it's gonna be the end for you. It's also good for general nervous function, general nervous system construction, and protein construction. Cool stuff. It's got manganese, copper, and iron, which do cool things, I'm sure. I didn't care enough to research it. I'm sure you can find out on your own. You're an educated person watching this video. I will guarantee it. I'm gonna take a whole other swig. IPAs are really bad. They taste yeasty. Oats also have zinc. Zinc is good for cell growth and rapid cell division as well, and they're also just like a key component of loads of enzymes. Like, they will activate a ton of different enzymes, okay? You gotta get your zinc in. If you don't get your zinc, you're not gonna sink. That's what I always say. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, final essential mineral. Oats also have phosphorus, and holy shit, phosphorus? If you disregard everything else I've said, if you disregard everything else I've just said, please take note of how important phosphorus is in biology. Phosphorus develops the backbone of your DNA. It develops your cell membranes because, phospholipids, those make up your cell membrane. Those are pretty important. It also helps to regulate your blood pH. It helps to regulate your skeletal structure. It activates some enzymes. It's a critical component of enzyme activation, like kinases and phosphorylases. It fucking creates the energy you need to live. ATP, hello? GTP, yes please. ADP, don't even talk to me. That's crazy. Phosphorus, I see that at the end of the bar. I'm gonna go up and say like, hey, I respect you, but I'm not gonna like converse with you any further because you're probably a really busy person and you came to this bar for a reason, and it wasn't to have people like me, some doting plebeians, interrupt you. So here we are. All right. So now we're getting to the glycemic index. And oats, depending on how they're processed, will have a different kind of glycemic index. What the hell is a glycemic index, you may be asking? A glycemic index is how quickly something is metabolized into blood sugar. That's kind of just like the basics of it. That's the basic definition that me, being absolutely destroyed on IPAs and cocktails, can tell you. So oats, depending on how they're processed, will yield different glycemic indexes. The lower amount of processing, the lower the glycemic index, which means less blood sugar will be released into the system over time. So that basically means that you'll feel fuller, you'll be more satisfied with your meal, you won't need to eat as quickly if you eat oats. So if you have like steel cut oats for breakfast, then you're gonna have a lower glycemic index. If you have instant cut oats, you're gonna have a higher glycemic index. Make sense? Cool. I hope it does, because I'm not gonna go over it any further. Now, oats, besides all the cool vitamins they have and minerals, they also are good at combating cancer. Let me elaborate. They have a bunch of phenols and phytoestrogens, and they have this cool thing called, I'm not even gonna pretend to know how to pronounce this, I'm just gonna flash it on screen. But this thing that I'm gonna flash on screen, I'm gonna try to pronounce it right now. You all ready? Avenanthromides. These guys are pretty nifty. They will lower blood pressure levels by increasing the production of nitric oxide, and as we all know, obviously, nitric oxide will help dilate the blood vessels, which will increase blood flow and reduce blood pressure a little bit. So that's contributing to the overall heart health. And in addition, avenanthromides have anti-inflammatory and anti-itching effects, which is probably why oats are used in a bunch of beauty products nowadays, like face masks and lotions and all those kinds of cool things. And I'm gonna flash a bunch of phenolic compounds on screen that I don't have the time or energy to read, because God help me. And yeah, what do antioxidants do, you may be asking? Antioxidants neutralize these cool guys called free radicals. And antioxidant free radicals are fellas that will bind with anything they can possibly find. That's not good for your biology, right? Because it can lead to cancerous cells. I'm not sure what the mechanism is right there. You might need to ask me in 3 to 5 business days after this is all blown over, but just trust me on that front, okay? And oats have a bunch of them, and that's kind of what you need to know. And that's just how things gotta be. I had a bunch more recipes on here and things to talk about, but I've officially decided... Oh, I'm hiccuping. I've had too much to drink. I've officially decided that this is probably the point where I should stop. So, if you've made it this far, I congratulate you. This was a painful thing to experience, and probably not that funny. It's been 20 minutes as of the point of this unedited recording, so I'm excited to go through this in the morning, where I have no idea what I just recorded, because I feel like there are probably points where I fell asleep, and I just don't remember anything that I said, and that'll be the end of it. But thank you all for listening. I'll see you soon.